You can make six figures a year. You can wear designer clothes, drive a luxury car, eat at expensive restaurants, and post photos that make everyone think you are incredibly successful. But if one delayed paycheck is enough to send you into panic, if one car repair forces you to use a credit card, if you avoid opening your banking app because you are afraid to look at the balance, then I am sorry, but you are not rich. You are simply wearing expensive clothes over a very fragile financial life. This is the trap many high-income earners fall into. Their income goes up, their lifestyle looks more impressive, but their bank account still has almost nothing left at the end of the month. Money comes in quickly, and it disappears just as quickly. Sometimes, the money has not even reached the account yet, and the rent, car payment, credit card balance, subscriptions, and buy now pay later installments are already waiting to swallow it. You are not controlling your money. Your bills are controlling you. Does that hurt to hear? Good, because it is the truth. Some people rent luxury cars just to look successful in front of others. Some people buy Chanel bags on credit but do not have enough cash to cover an unexpected medical bill. Some people wear Cartier watches on installment plans while only making the minimum payment on their credit cards every month. They look wealthy from the outside, but underneath the surface, they are drowning in debt. The problem is not the bag. It is not the car. It is not the watch. The real problem is whether you are using money to build freedom or using money to buy approval from other people. There is a very dangerous kind of poverty. It is being broke but refusing to admit it. Instead of fixing the financial system, people borrow more money to protect the image. They do not buy something because they need it. They buy it because they are afraid other people might think they are not successful, and that is when the trap begins to close. Today, I'm going to show you 4 pillars that can help someone with a good income but an empty bank account rebuild their entire financial life. Not through tiny money-saving tricks, not by cutting every source of joy, not by living miserably and being afraid to spend a single dollar, but by building a clear, automated, realistic system. The 4 pillars are a stability cushion, automated growth, capping lifestyle creep, and guilt-free joy. Stay until the end, because I will show you how to divide your money the moment you get paid so it no longer disappears without your permission. And if you have ever earned more but still failed to keep more, comment. I will take control of my money. Do not just watch this for entertainment. Make a commitment to yourself, because knowledge does not change your life. Action does. Before we build the 4 pillars, we need to talk honestly about the monster quietly draining the finances of millions of people. High-interest credit card debt. Imagine you are carrying a credit card balance at 21.49% interest. You see that number, but you do not truly feel how dangerous it is. You tell yourself, it is fine. I will just make the minimum payment this month. I will pay more when I get my bonus. I will deal with it after my next raise. But then the bonus arrives, and you buy something else. Your salary goes up, and your lifestyle goes up with it. The debt remains, and the interest keeps growing. This is what makes credit cards so dangerous. They create the illusion that you can afford to buy something when in reality, you are using your future income to satisfy your present desire. You buy the product today, but the version of you 6 months, 1 year, or even several years from now has to keep paying for it. When you only make minimum payments, a balance that does not seem enormous can stay with you for years. During that time, you are not only paying for the product, you may also pay thousands of dollars in interest just for the privilege of owning it before you could truly afford it. But the most dangerous part is not the money. It is the psychology. You begin to avoid the truth. You stop checking your balance. You do not open the statement. You refuse to add up the total debt. You know there is a problem, but you do not want to look at it. And what you refuse to measure, you will never control. Today, do something simple. Open every banking and credit card app you have. List every debt. Write down the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Do not judge yourself. Do not call yourself stupid. But do not keep pretending everything is fine either. You cannot repair a house if you refuse to look at the crack in the wall. Looking at the number does not make you poorer. It only stops you from lying to yourself. A strong person is not someone who has never made a mistake. A strong person is someone brave enough to face the mistake and correct it. Knowing you are sinking while still posing for the camera is not confidence. It is cowardice. Once you have faced your debt, the first thing you need to build is a financial cushion. I call it the stability cushion. The purpose of this fund is not to make you rich overnight. Its purpose is to stop a small emergency from becoming a financial disaster. Your car breaks down. You lose your job. A family member needs help. A medical bill appears. Your laptop dies right when you need it for work. These events are not a matter of whether they will happen. The real question is when. Without emergency savings, every unexpected problem pushes you deeper into debt. You use a credit card to fix the car. You use a buy now, pay later service to replace the laptop. You borrow from relatives to cover the rent. And a problem that should have cost a few $100s turns into a debt cycle lasting many months. The stability cushion stops that cycle. To calculate your emergency fund, first identify your true monthly survival number. I said survival number, not your current lifestyle. List only the expenses you genuinely need: housing, electricity, water, internet, and basic utilities, essential groceries, insurance, transportation required for work, necessary medication, and minimum debt payments. Do not include designer clothes. Do not include expensive restaurants. Do not include luxury vacations. Do not include the premium gym membership you use twice a month. And do not lie to yourself by calling every desire a necessity. Once you calculate your essential monthly expenses, multiply that number by 5. For example, if your minimum monthly cost of living is $3,000, your emergency fund target is $15,000. 5 months is not a magical number that perfectly fits every person, but it is long enough to give you room to breathe if your income suddenly stops. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to look for the right job instead of accepting the first terrible offer out of fear. It gives you time to repair, adjust, and make a better decision. This money should be kept in a high-yield savings account. The reason is simple. Emergency money needs to be safe and accessible, but that does not mean it should sit in an account earning almost nothing. If a traditional account pays 0.01%, while a high-yield savings account pays significantly more, it makes sense to research better options available in your country. But remember this: your emergency fund is not a gambling account. Do not use it to speculate on stocks. Do not throw it into cryptocurrency because you think it might double. Do not invest it in your friend's guaranteed opportunity. Emergency savings are not supposed to make you excited. They are supposed to help you sleep at night. And do not use this money for situations that are not emergencies. A pair of shoes going on sale is not an emergency. A vacation, because all your friends are going, is not an emergency. Replacing your phone because the newest model has a better camera is not an emergency. Your emergency fund is the fence protecting your financial life. Do not tear down the fence for 5 minutes of pleasure. Once you have built stability, the next step is to make your money start working for you. Many people believe successful investing requires them to pick individual stocks. They think they need to read financial statements. They think they must watch the market every day. They believe they need to predict exactly when to buy and when to sell. No. That is why so many people delay investing for years. They turn something that can be simple into a complicated maze. And because they are afraid of making the wrong decision, they make no decision at all. In long-term investing, one of your greatest advantages is not intelligence. It is time. Money invested early has the chance to grow through compound returns. Your returns begin to generate more returns. And this process becomes most powerful when you do not constantly interrupt it with fear, greed, and emotional decisions. First, check your employer retirement plan. If your company offers a 401k and provides a match, contribute enough to receive the full match whenever possible. Why? Because that is additional money going into your retirement account. If your company is willing to contribute based on your contribution and you ignore it, you are leaving money on the table and walking away. Next, consider opening an individual retirement account, such as a Roth IRA, if it fits your income, legal situation, and financial goals. The important part is not simply opening the account. The important part is setting up an automatic monthly contribution. You can start small: $200, $300, $500. The starting amount matters less than the habit. A person who consistently invests $300 a month for years may build a much stronger foundation than someone who keeps waiting for the perfect moment and never starts. Your investment portfolio does not need to contain dozens of funds. A simple example could be 60% in a broad U.S. stock index fund, such as one tracking the S&P 500, 30% in an international index fund, 10% in bonus. This is only a general example, not a personal recommendation for everyone. Your allocation should depend on your age, financial goals, risk tolerance, and investing timeline. But the lesson is simple. A simple system is often easier to maintain than a complicated one. You do not need to turn investing into a second full-time job. You need a system simple enough to continue during busy months, market crashes, and periods when you are not feeling motivated. The most important principle is automation on payday. The moment your salary arrives, part of it should automatically move to your emergency fund. Part should go to investing. Part should go to your joy account. Only the remaining amount should be used for regular spending. Do not do it the other way around. Do not spend first, and then save whatever is left at the end of the month. Because usually, nothing is left. Human beings are very good at finding ways to spend whatever money they can see. If $5,000 sits in your checking account, you will unconsciously build a lifestyle around $5,000. But if savings and investments move automatically, and only $3,500 remains, you will learn to organize your lifestyle around $3,500. This is not magic. This is how you remove weakness from the system. You do not need to fight yourself every month. You make the correct decision once. Then you let the system repeat it. Lifestyle creep happens when your spending rises almost as fast as your income. When you earn $4,000 a month, you think, if I could just earn $6,000, everything would be fine. Then you reach $6,000. You move into a more expensive apartment. You upgrade the car. You buy more clothes. You eat out more often. You subscribe to more services. Then you tell yourself, when I earn $8,000, I will finally start saving. But when you reach $8,000, your lifestyle expands again. This is why a high income does not automatically create wealth. You do not become wealthy because of how much you earn. You become wealthy because of the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and what you do with that gap. The first step in controlling lifestyle creep is reviewing the last 3 months of transactions. Do not only look at the big expenses. Look at the small recurring charges. A streaming service you never use. An app subscription you forgot to cancel. Duplicate cloud storage plans. An expensive gym membership you barely use. Food delivery. Delivery fees. Buy now, pay later payments. Shopping because you were bored. Each expense may look small on its own, but together, they become a large financial leak. You do not need to cut everything. You need to cut the things that do not create real value. That is the difference. Smart saving does not mean living miserably. Smart saving means refusing to pay for things you do not truly care about. One useful rule is the 7-day rule. For any unplanned purchase over $75, wait 7 days before buying it. Do not add it to the cart and immediately check out. Do not tell yourself you must buy it because it is on sale. Save the product and wait. After 7 days, if you still believe it is useful, your budget allows it, and it does not damage your financial goals, then consider buying it. But most buying impulses do not last as long as you think. They appear because of advertising, because of emotion, because of comparison, because you just saw someone else owning the product. After a few days, the emotion fades, and you realize you did not need it that badly. The 7-day rule creates space between desire and action. That space is where intelligent decisions are made. You should also try to keep your essential expenses at a safe percentage of your take-home income. For example, around 62% can be used as a general reference point, but do not become obsessed with hitting exactly 62%. Someone living in an expensive city may face a very different situation from someone living in a low-cost area. The important thing is knowing your own percentage. If 85% of your take-home pay is already locked into housing, car payments, insurance, bills, and minimum debt payments, you have almost no room to breathe. At that point, skipping one coffee will not solve the problem. You need to make a larger decision. Move to a more affordable home. Replace the car that is beyond your means. Renegotiate contracts. Increase your income, or eliminate one major financial obligation. Many people love cutting tiny expenses because it feels easy, but they refuse to touch the $1,000 expense, destroying the entire budget. That is not money management. That is financial theater. Attack the large expenses first. One correct decision about housing or transportation can be worth hundreds of coupon codes. This is the part many people ignore. They think money management means cutting out every source of happiness. No travel, no good food, No gifts. No hobbies. Every time they spend money, they feel guilty. That kind of lifestyle is very difficult to maintain. You may force yourself to live that way for a few months, but eventually, you feel so restricted that you overspend in rebellion. That is why you need a joy account. You can automatically transfer around 15% of your paycheck into a separate account used only for things that make life enjoyable. Vacations, parties, gifts, hobbies, a great meal, a meaningful experience with people you love. Because the money was prepared in advance, you can spend it without guilt. You do not need to use a credit card and worry throughout the entire vacation. You do not buy a gift and then realize you cannot cover rent. You do not enjoy today and panic tomorrow. Of course, 15% is only a general guideline. If you are carrying high-interest debt or still building your emergency fund, your joy percentage may need to be lower for a period of time. But do not keep it at zero forever. A good financial plan should protect your future without destroying your present. You are not alive just to become a money-saving machine. You manage money so you can live according to your own choices. The difference is that this joy is paid for with your actual money, not with debt taken from your future self. If the joy account has $800, you know you have $800 available to enjoy. When the account reaches zero, you stop. You do not borrow more. You do not take money from investments. You do not touch the emergency fund. You wait until the next automatic transfer. That is, disciplined freedom. It does not mean doing whatever you want. It means knowing your limits and fully enjoying life inside those limits. Now let us combine the 4 pillars into one complete system. Imagine your monthly take-home income is $8,000. The moment you get paid, your system begins working. A portion automatically goes into your emergency fund until you reach 5 months of essential expenses. A portion goes into retirement and investment accounts. Around 15% goes into your joy account, depending on your debt and current financial priorities. The remaining money covers essential expenses, debt payments, and planned spending. You may ask, where does debt repayment fit? If you have high-interest debt, first build a small starter emergency fund so you do not need to borrow again during the next emergency. Then attack the high-interest debt aggressively. Once that debt is under control, continue building the full emergency fund and increase your investment contributions. The exact order may change depending on your situation. But the principle does not change. Every dollar should receive a job before you have the chance to spend it unconsciously. This is the difference between someone constantly waiting for payday and someone actively building wealth. The first person receives money and reacts. A bill appears, so they pay it. An emotion appears, so they buy something. Friends make plans, so they spend. The second person receives money and assigns it. This dollar protects my life. This dollar pays down debt. This dollar invests for the future. This dollar pays for joy. This dollar covers necessities. Money without a job disappears. Money with a job begins building your life. After watching this video, do not tell yourself you will change everything over the next year. Start within the next 24 hours. First, open every account and write down your total cash, total debt, interest rates, and minimum payments. Second, calculate 1 month of essential expenses and multiply it by 5 to create your emergency fund target. Third, check whether your employer offers a retirement match. Fourth, set up at least one automatic transfer on payday. Even if the amount is only $50 or $100, start. Fifth, review 3 months of transactions and cancel at least 3 expenses that bring no real value. Sixth, create a separate joy account so you no longer need to borrow money for experiences you love. Do not wait until everything is perfect. Do not say you will start next month. Knowing exactly what you need to do but still refusing to open your banking app is one of the stupidest forms of self-sabotage. Nobody is coming to rescue your finances. Your employer is not responsible for making you wealthy. The bank certainly is not. Luxury brands only care whether you keep buying. The person who must stand up and take control is you. The difference between panic and freedom is not always the number on your paycheck. Your income can stay exactly the same, but your life can completely change based on what happens between the moment money enters your account and the moment it disappears. In the past, money arrived and automatically flowed toward bills, shopping, installments, and expenses you barely remembered. From now on, you will decide the purpose of every dollar. 1 part creates stability. 1 part builds your future. 1 part protects you from lifestyle creep. One part allows you to enjoy the present. That is real wealth, not the car other people can see.